It's all about you being easy with yourself as you're reaching that level of understanding and embodiment of all the teachings of manifesting. It's never ever about trying to go upstream, because it will feel sometimes very hard to not assert yourself. Once you get the hang of doing things mentally, you're never gonna do it anyway in 3D anymore. The key is to be easy on yourself and allow that to unfold with time. The more you manifest, the more you see results happening through manifestation, the easier and easier it will be for you to just not take that 3D action. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Manifestion and I'm a manifestation and soul realignment coach. My channel is geared towards helping you become your highest potential so that you can create and live the extraordinary life that is your birthright. In today's video, I'll be talking about how much 3D communication is needed in a relationship as someone who is a manifester. This is inspired by a comment I received a few weeks ago, and I thought I'd do a video about it because it's a very good question. But before we get started, I just want to remind you that I recently launched a self-concept workbook that will help you journal your way towards a rock-solid self-concept when it comes to love, so that you call in your ideal relationship in its highest form. This workbook is for you whether you're already in a relationship and want to take it to the next level, or if you want to call in a brand new relationship, whether it's with someone you know or someone in general. It's in the description below. And I'd also like to remind you that I offer one-to-one coaching, so if you need help in manifesting any of your desires or in releasing any of your blocks, you definitely want to check out all my coaching options. They are in the description below. And I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon in order to receive a notification anytime I upload a new video. So I'm going to share with you the comment that I received from one of my subscribers, and I think it's a very valid question that should be addressed. So I'm gonna read it out right now. With manifesting, I feel I'm not always sure how to act in a relationship. Manifesting says that when someone isn't doing what you like, go within and change it. But society says when your partner isn't doing something you like, you sit down as adults and talk about it, or you address it with your partner. Manifesting says that this draws attention and focus to the problem, and I'll create more of the issue. So how are couples supposed to have healthy discussions or interact with each other when manifesting always says go within or affirm to yourself instead of talking through issues? Are you ever supposed to let your partner know how they're making you feel, or ignore them because everything is your fault and fix it with your thoughts? How do you have a relationship like that? So this is a wonderful question because it actually is a very valid point. The thing I want to tell you, what society says is first coming from a 3D perspective. It's not coming from a manifesting perspective. So when people tell you to talk things out, including perhaps going to couples therapy, that's very much a 3D way of looking at things. It worked in 3D. But as a manifester, once you reach a certain level of manifesting, you find it very hard to dwell on the things you don't like. You just can't do it. You naturally know that that does not work. But until you reach that level, you may need to, yes, communicate. So 1000%, I highly recommend normal communication, not confrontational. Healthy communication goes a long way. That is as you are up-leveling your ability to do things purely mentally. Usually what's happening as you are working on becoming a better and better manifester, there's an element of your ego mind that needs to be shed, because it's the ego mind that always needs to assert itself. It's the ego mind that's needing to say, I'm not fine with what you're doing, if that makes sense. But once you start really, really manifesting and building up that rock solid self-concept, identity from within, where you feel it from within and never ever feel that someone can make you feel less than you actually are. Because a lot of the time when you need to assert yourself and sit down with your partner and tell them they're doing something wrong, it's your ego mind feeling triggered and needing that validation, external validation. Whereas when you're feeling it on the inside, you're rock solid from within, you're feeling it on the inside. You're not going to question it from within. But when you are still up leveling your self-concept, which I always say, you're not fixing anything in yourself, you're just fixing your opinion of yourself. When you become rock solid from within, you never necessarily need to call out people on their behavior, if that makes sense. It's a strange thing that you only get with time. Until you get there, you do what you need to do in 3D without overly focusing. Like sometimes you feel, no, I need to assert myself. I need to say that this is bothering me. You tell them, I need this to change, for example. But once you've started to manifest more and more and more and more, those triggers become less and less. Even if you're triggered in a given moment, the next day you will find that you're no longer triggered. That shift starts to happen very fast. And ultimately, I want to emphasize that a lot of the triggers are coming from an overly active mind, an overly critical mind, self-critical as well. So remember that a lot of the time it's you engaging with that conversation. Personally, I tell you from personal experience, I used to be very assertive in 3D. I would tell people what I thought. I had no problem telling people off. And, a lot of the time I would regret it afterwards. I would say, well, I didn't need to say that. I didn't need to assert myself this way. And I've come to a place of much more ease because I've been able to do things internally, to manifest things internally. You just find it easier to do it mentally and not overthink. It takes you not overthinking. Because when you're overthinking, again, you're still heavily identified with the ego, you're gonna feel triggered. But as you become better and better at manifesting, you do it all internally. You start doing it all internally. And if in a moment of time you feel triggered about something with your partner or with your friend or with family, you will find that without focusing too much on it, it sorts itself out somehow. Somehow, it really does. But until you get to that level of knowing that that's how it works and that it's much, much, much easier to do it all mentally and not dwell on things mentally and be self-critical and critical of the other person and all of that, it's okay for you to actually assert yourself to a certain extent in 3D. Sometimes you just need to do it and you have to honor that. So yes, healthy communication is definitely a given. It's not all mental, but once you get the hang of doing things mentally, you're never gonna do it anyway in 3D anymore. The need is not there, if that makes sense. It's all about you being easy with yourself as you're reaching that level of understanding and embodiment of all the teachings of manifesting. It's never ever about trying to go upstream, because it will feel sometimes very hard to not assert yourself. The key is to be easy on yourself and allow that to unfold with time. The more you manifest, the more you see results happening through manifestation, the easier and easier it will be for you to just not take that 3D action. It's all about you living this day to day, literally, and not just with the person you're in a relationship with everyone. with the people you work with your friends, with family, with everyone. It's a daily thing. So try practicing with as many people as possible. You will see things shift and become much, much easier. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please like, comment, and share. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.